is Ruel's Running Podcast, a podcast about running, health, family, play, and an NSNG lifestyle. And now, here's your host, Ruel.
Excuse me as I rock on. That's Went Away by Dorothy Lane. Dorothy Lane out of Martinez, California. That's out of the Cut and Dry album. Check them out at dorothylanemusic.com. Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome to Ruel's Running Podcast. I am your host, Ruel. Good day to you. Good day to me. What's going on? The sun is shining. There's some scattered clouds, but mostly skies. It's awesome. It is a Sunday, and I'm out and about. I just trying to get through life, get through the day, get through myself. So the great news is that there's a little bit of normal coming back in this part of the world. Last Friday, I guess it's the next stage of sort of opening things up around here. So things like restaurants were allowed to have outside dining, things of that nature. Other things like pools and, I don't know, just things are slowly coming back to normal. The other day I was out and about picking up some takeout and saw a restaurant in town open up its outside seating, and there were already people there. I guess the condition is still be sort of concerned about safety, keep your distance, and folks are still wearing masks. I think it's kind of weird though when you're sitting at a restaurant outside dining and you're wearing a mask. How are you going to eat? You got to take your mask off. So I guess that's where the distance comes into play. But yeah, like some of our favorite sort of places who we've done takeout numerous times in the past several months. They've opened up more hours or more days in the week, so that's very cool. And yeah. What else has been going on? Well, there had been a ton of protests, and there had been a ton of looting that had happened. I don't know if the last episode mentioned any of that stuff. But yeah, it is what it is. It's the time. It's just in the blip of human history, in the large scope of human history. Unfortunately, we're having to go through a period where, because a bunch of people for a long time have been assholes, and assholes as fuck. There needs to be accountability for things, and people need to pay a price, and we need to be better. Certain groups, certain individuals, certain whatever need to be better moving forward. Yeah. And I'm not going to be getting political or whatever. But, you know, as it said, you know, common sense isn't common, and common decency, common humanity, or, you know, humanity, and or as Bruce Lee, to paraphrase Bruce Lee, under the heavens, under the sky, you know, we're all under the same family. We just look different. Yeah, something for that. What's going on in your world? What is going on in your world? I hope you've pretty much gone back to a level of normal that makes you feel good, makes you happy. I hope the best for everyone. Yeah. I hope you are hugging your friends and your family, you know, in one shape or form. For us yesterday, because of the easing, you know, they're allowing a certain level of groups or gatherings within a certain quantity, a certain amount. They're allowing, you know, visits from folks who are not out of your household, you know, for those types of gatherings, you know. So we had like my brother-in-law and his family over, and we had my sister-in-law and his husband over. You know, we had lunch, so we haven't seen them for months, it seems. So got to do that, you know. Yeah. I can't wait for you know, to get back to working out at the I don't know if you want to call it a gym or a studio that me and my wife are members of, and it's kind of weird because we for the past month we reactivated our membership, and what the gym's been doing is they've been making workouts online via Zoom, and they do it really nice because if you can't make it live, whoever didn't attend during the live session, they automatically get a link to download the video recording of the session. So, you know, for the most part, we've not been able to make those times, but we've been basically signing up for those classes. I mean, you have to sign up, and we get a limited quantity, or a certain quantity of workouts per month, and so, you know, I make sure that I sign up for a live class, and then just wait for the link to come in my inbox and be able to work out at a time that's more appropriate for myself or for my wife. But, you know, I do miss that energy of being in the actual studio or the gym. The big difference between the Zoom stuff and the physical, you know, there are treadmills, and I love doing intervals which include the treadmill, so, you know, plus there's an energy that you get. So yeah, I miss that. How are you guys keeping yourselves active? I could stand to do a better job at keeping myself active when in a way that doesn't, you know, put my family at risk. Speaking of risk, I got my oldest to fire a BB gun pistol. We were doing target practice the other day. All right, I'm back. Yep. Yeah, I've been struggling. Staying in shape. You know, the whole gym membership before shelter in place happened, before businesses had to sort of close their doors to minimize infection and stuff like that because of the virus. It just felt great, to participate and work out with my wife, and things like that. To be able to develop a level of fitness through those types of workouts that helped get me through sort of the February Lake Chabot 50K, so I was definitely benefiting from it. So tried to make the best of it, staying at home these past few months. But, it was just such a big change on top, for everybody. Workout situation, when the kids were still doing school, all of that. It's just hectic, a lot, and little tiny things too, like having to work from home. All of us, like internet needed to be upgraded, internet speeds at home, and dealing with so many different configurations and setups and things like that. And struggling through my day-to-day with work, starting to adjust into a different way of doing things, in what I do. So I was basically, I took on responsibility and took on challenges with doing things new, and trying to do that on top of the whole work from home, teach your kids from home, homeschooling. It was just like it caused a lot of and it still kind of does, I think, a little bit, but it's way better than it was. It's like 100 times. It doesn't even make any sense. I think there's a healthier level of stress and anxiety around work than it was a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So, yeah, tough. So I struggle, and I realize, and I'm not really doing anything about it, that the alcohol is impairing my body's ability to sort itself out, right? So it doesn't matter what I'm eating so much, right? I could be eating, pristine NSNG, but because I haven't cut out the alcohol as much as I should. My belief is that it's basically locked my body up into a state where, you're not going to drop any pounds. You sort of locked yourself up. Your body's ability to do that is all tied up because, you just keep feeding it the alcohol, right? So this is basically, if the alcohol consumption was consistent, at a consistent rate, frequency or whatever, what I'm living in as far as my body and composition, that is the new normal, right? That is sort of its own homeostasis, right? So in order to change, I've got to unlock the problem, right? And then allow my body to sort of, adjust and yeah, it's a real struggle, and I know that I've been in this place before, and I know that it's just going to take some time for me to be really, really focused and basically fed up, right? Just when I thought that I was there, I was fed up, and I have had enough, I've just been not as much as enough to make that big shift. Need a reshift. Early on in the podcast, I talk about how I had a nutritional shift, and in NSNG, and how I like dropped a ton of weight, and I could look back at years in the past, from years ago, see how I was different, and compared to now, and I like to think I could get back there again, but the struggle is real, Once you've sort of hit, that's not even a word, hit your high on a nutritional shift, you almost feel invincible and feel like you figured it all out. But the big challenge is, how do you, when you fall off that high, you bottom out again, right? The big test is, how do you come back out? How do you come back out every time you've hit a major low, right? And it's possible. I think it's more psychological than anything. But it's kind of like when you have, when you're young and if you're a woman and you never had kids, and you have a level of fitness because you're young and you're still developing, you're not hefty, you're more sort of an athletic build, right? And then you're this young adult, and then you're active, you're doing exercise videos and things, and you're trying to tell the world, look how to stay in shape, because look at me, right? That doesn't count. It doesn't. What counts is allow yourself to grow up, right? And go through life's stresses. If you're a woman, have a child or two, right? Or three. If you're a man, whatever, get a gut, Basically, the big test is coming out of the gate and still sort of maturing. You're gonna have like fresh muscle mass and fresh hormones and everything, and you're young, and you're gonna almost by definition look fit, right? Because life hasn't beaten you up yet. So the test is, let life beat you up, then get on a program, and then tell the world how to stay fit, because you know how to become fit, coming from a place where you weren't fit. That even makes sense. It's kind of ridiculous when you see these. I'm not bitter. It's just a reality, because you have these young douchebags on videos on social media talking about how to do this, how to do that, and there could be truth to it, but why don't you bottom out and be in a horrible place physically, mentally, and then overcome that, then tell the world, Yeah, now I'm just talking in circles. Awesome. Do you need a website? If you're an individual, a consultant, a group, or small business and need a site, or maybe you have an existing site, I can help. How about graphic design? Do you need a design for a t-shirt, logo, product, business cards? Maybe you need help with designing and developing a brand. I'm not an expert, but I do have the tools and the techniques to get the job done. How about a podcast? Yep, like this thing. This thing's a silly little show. Are you looking to set up a podcast of your own? Are you looking to reach an audience? Promote your business via podcast? Well, Abadam Studios. That's right, Abadam Studios. Yeah, so that's Abadam Studios. AbadamStudios.com, AbadamStudios.com. Check it out. All right, I'm back. I'm out and about again. Later on the same day as the previous segment. I'm headed to do errands on this wonderful Sunday. I've got a package to drop off at the post office. It's kind of hefty, so hopefully the package intake receptacle thing is freed up enough for me to actually allow this package to get sent in. Yep. I also got to meet up with one of my wife's customers to hand off a package. Yeah, busy day, and I'm bloated AF. Yeah, I'm not good, guys. I need to get back to better health and feeling good. But maybe I'll just have to sit down and really think really long and hard about what my goals are and where I want to be, what I want to be like. Yeah. Anybody struggle with that? Or is everybody good? What else is going on? Yeah, excuse me as I yawn. So earlier for lunch, I decided to have a burrito. And I gotta rethink the burrito. Because right now it's not doing me good. Maybe it's the beans. I said, you know what, go easy on the beans. Just give me just a little bit of those pinto beans. But maybe just a little bit is enough to just make me feel bloated. Never mind the tortilla. Forget about the tortilla. That's a whole other issue. So, yeah, that was several hours ago. And I had worked on a cup of coffee recently. Excuse me. There I go again. Oh boy. So, here's what's exciting. No, not that I've signed up for another event because events are now open. But I can't wait for whatever that would be. But after 3 months or so of everyone being at home, and with the easing up of things, we're still being cautious, but we're going to sort of shelter in place on vacation, if you will. We're going to take several days. We're going to drive down south and find our place in a home that that my wife has rented on one of those online sites. Yeah, and somewhere just as a getaway. We're starting the process of packing things up, and it'll be a good drive back down south to a new place. And if all goes well, I guess I'll give them recommendations. So until then, I will hold off from noting what exactly it is. But yeah, it'll be neat. I told work that I'll be traveling on a Monday, I'll be traveling on a Thursday. That's the way back. And depending on internet connectivity, I may or may not be available in between the Monday and the Tuesday. So, there you go. Man. Go, girl. I miss running. I've done a few short runs, like really short runs. Talking about, like, if I'm lucky, like half hour, right? Some parts of the morning, certain days. Just I don't get myself up early enough to have a significant, time on my feet. Usually it's I've been able to get out just for that small moment in time because I gotta get back in time to do a meeting. So yeah, I go at it. I go zone 2, but a half hour ain't enough to really benefit from a chunk of zone 2. A zone 2 effort. A half hour ain't nothing. So, we'll see. Oh yeah, here I go again. Yawn. What's going on? What else is going on? Yeah. I haven't been active on the NSNG admin and group lately, but I do find myself in there once in a while. And it amazes me how there's a lot of goody two-shoes in some of these groups who hope to change the culture of a group with one voice, when the origin of the group has always been it always has a personality that is what they don't agree with, So a lot of people chimed in, felt great, because the poster said, who are the admins of this group? And the admins of this group, I'll put it this way, the active admins of this group, they do a great job, right? I'm talking about the NSNG group, the main group. A lot of people chimed in. It felt good to see a lot of people in the community sort of stick up for the group and stuff, and I'm not in there as much as I used to, but I don't know. I guess it was late enough, and I had enough alcohol in me to comment. Basically said that you think it's bad. You think people are crude and rude in this group? It used to be cruder and ruder. Cruder and ruder years ago. It's actually pretty tame now. So my thing is, like, if you think this is crude and rude, what does that have to say about how you tolerate things in life? What kind of person are you? But I stated that the admins are doing a great job at keeping that balance, right? Yeah. Just swipe away if there's something you don't agree with. If you really don't like things, just leave. Leave. Jesus. I'm going to report something to the admin. Yeah. Shame on you. That's right. I'm going to fix this group my way by reporting things to the admin. Yeah. I know at least a couple people saw my post. I don't know if anybody agreed with it or not. Doesn't matter. But I got up the next morning and realized that that it was taken down. I don't know what else had transpired that caused the whole thing to just get shut down. Awesome. Okay, I'm at the post office. I'm gonna see if I can have any luck in sticking my thing in the thing. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back again. So I'm going to be jumping around thoughts. I dropped the package in the post office, sort of the receptacle, and it was the only package left that could fit to go in. And it's basically jammed, wedged. It's one of these bins where you stick a box in and you got to push the whole cylinder forward, so that it allows the package to slide inside, and then the cylinders, or I don't know if it's a cylinder or a drum, whatever you want to call it, and it kind of springs back, so you can feed it again and roll it over and let it drop the package in. So the package I stuck in was it was pretty sizable, and it got halfway out, and then it just stopped. And what that did was it's in there and it's secure, but it means no one else can put anything in this drum, right? And I was like, oh god, I guess it's okay. It's now been deposited, and nobody can harm the package from outside, because I've tried putting pressure, pulling or pushing, and the box is just kind of stuck there. You got to be a postal worker from the inside to pull it out. But I made my way to meet up with my wife's customer, and it's kind of a thing where, you know, you sort of have this arrangement. So you're doing business, if you will, right? And originally the customer is like, okay, ship it to me, pay the shipping, and then later on messages or emails that says, you know what, I'll actually pick it up after all. Can you refund me the cost of shipping? It's like, yeah, that makes sense. It's a little annoying, you know. It's like, but you know, it happens. You can understand. And then we lay down like, okay, these are the pickup times, right? I said, okay, cool. Only for later to be like, I actually can't make it at that time. Can you actually make it after a certain time? And then now it just starts to become a bit more annoying, sort of like, you know, their life is more important. You know, you can't, it's not, I mean, I don't know. It becomes more work to move things around, right? Anybody's schedule. So I don't know if that's something that we can figure out to sort of lock down and say, you know what, these are solid pickup times rather, and locations, and you gotta pick one and stick to one, otherwise you're not gonna get it, right? It's all on you. So yeah, we did that. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, being able to do that sort of interaction is something that a lot of wannabe businesses are struggling to be able to get to a level of, I guess. I don't know what I'm talking about. I am home, and I've got prep to do for this upcoming trip. Chat with you guys later. Hey everybody, I'm back, and we did take that trip, and I can't wait to tell you more about it. Yeah, why don't I tell you about it now? Better time than present, right? So yeah, we took this trip. This is more family chat. This is how it went down. Take some time off, travel, you know, work if I need to, travel, done. We went to what we're calling a lake house, but it's technically a house nearby a lake, not right on the lake or on the edge of the lake, but there's a lake nearby which you can access with about a 20-minute walk. So it was kind of close. Place called Lake Arrowhead, and it's a private lake, and we rented a place via VRBO, and we had invited. My sister had invited her sister and her husband along, and they were going to come, but they didn't. We invited my wife's niece to come along. She's a young adult, kind of on a break from school, from university. But she was going to come, but then she didn't come along. So, folks got busy, or folks got scared, of getting infected. So it was just our family in a big old house, very nice house, in the woods, a lot of other homes in the area, and we had a lot of fun. It was, for it being sort of like this cabin home feel, there was a lot of modern comforts, a lot. There was a hot tub in the back. There was a gas grill in the back. There was a smoker on the side, on the deck. The kitchen was huge. Nice gas range and stove. Modern refrigerator, dishwasher. The kitchen was fully stocked with appliances and pots and pans and utensils and spices and sugar and all those things. So, all we had to do was, take a really quick drive to the nearby supermarket, and pick up meat and things, and meat and veg and cheese and things, and eggs and bacon, and we were pretty much set, nice big screen TV with and there was internet, so we could stream a bunch of stuff on Netflix, or we could just watch their DirecTV programming, and full-on laundry. So the place took care of us, or takes care of their guests. Towels and linens and things as well. The description for the property said it wouldn't have firewood, although there was a pile of logs under the deck. But figured, if it said that they didn't have any, I wasn't going to go and just take what I saw. So we picked some logs up at the store and, got the fireplace going. Nice, it was a really nice big fireplace. I don't know what I'm doing burning logs. I'm not good at it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We miss it. It was we were enough in the woods, I guess, wooded community, to feel isolated, even though there were neighbors, but it was pretty peaceful. And it was a great break. We all needed it from work and stress of life, and wrapping up school was a nice way to sort of kick off for the kids getting off of school, even though they had been doing remote school for several months. It was a break for all of us, and we miss it. We know that certain times of the year that there's snow there, even along the edge of the lake. So, it'd be nice to see what, how it is when there's snow up there. And the last time we were in that area, we didn't stay at a place, but we did visit a I don't know what it's called. They have this place there. They call it Santa's Village. And I talked about it before in the podcast. So it does get they do get some pretty good snow over there, and so yeah, we'll look forward to, if we can stay at that same property, that would be great, because it was really good. I'll be back. I gotta get something. All right, I'm back. So, So, it was a nice change of pace, nice change of scenery. We were pretty isolated. When we took trips to the grocery store, we had our masks on. And what was surprising was that, not everybody was out and about with masks. And it got to a point where it felt like if people who didn't have masks saw you with masks, that somehow you were weird. But then again, there were still people with masks. So it was as if the area didn't enforce the usage of a mask so much. All the employees in the grocery store had masks. Yeah, but it almost felt like half of the customers there didn't have masks. I was like, what's the deal? Yeah, it was such a nice place. I mean, I did do some work. It's basically when I sit down in the computer and I stare at code, or I research, other sort of coding patterns and things, and test things out to see if I can get things to work. That was to the pretty much the extent of my work, which was great because I need that good stretch of sort of focus to work on stuff. And mealtime was pretty predictable because we basically ate what we shopped for. Where we were, there wasn't delivery. There wasn't easy delivery, and so we just sort of committed to, okay, what will we bring in? We brought some stuff from home, but we also bought stuff there, so that whatever it was, what it was. Every morning we basically cooked a pound of bacon, right? And I think on the first night I cooked some tri-tip steaks. So right off the bat, bacon, steaks, and then my son, our oldest, cooks the eggs. And we didn't take advantage of the grill. Just I think we did enough cooking for ourselves inside that to grill would have just been for the act of grilling and unnecessary and probably wasteful. The last thing we want to do is be stuck with a bunch of uneaten food, by the end of the stay, and we'd have to either take it along and we don't have a cooler, or just toss it, and waste. So yeah, it's new for the family. We've only done sort of the cabin-ish feel vibe stays a few times, not a lot. And man, it would be nice to just have a place like that someday. With your generous donations to the podcast, we may just be able to get a little lake house up in the mountains in Southern Cal. Yeah, the trip was interesting because the morning we left, or actually the night before we left, I had done a level of boozing. I forgot why. What made it such a special evening to booze it up a little. I don't know. I don't think I boozed a lot, but I did, getting up earlier than my body was able, getting up early to a point where my body still needed more sleep to recover from whatever I've subjected it to the night before, made me feel awful. And I felt so awful that I just got grossed out by the boozing and eat drink. So
where I had packed a bottle of bourbon with all of our kitchen stuff for the trip. That morning we were loading the vehicle and things. I just felt pretty off that I just left the alcohol home, went on the trip without any of it. I wasn't interested in any alcohol, and I was more focused on, I need to just eat clean and get myself straight and feel better. So we left on a Monday, back on a Thursday. But yeah, that Monday, when we were on the road and we had to find lunch, I kicked it off with like a salad, a Cobb salad, from a Habit burger. Not the best, but it was all right. Knowing full well that the dressing that was in play wasn't going to have the best stuff, but I knew that if I just took down a bunch of vegetation, I'd be okay. But by the time we got to the lake house and did some grocery shopping, pretty much from that point on, for me, the trip was some sort of like a spinach and arugula blend of a salad, and there would be some sort of like a blue cheese or a gorgonzola cheese, and then cuts of whatever meat I had cooked. So I had cooked some tri-tip steak, so I would have some cold like slivers of tri-tip steak in the salad, and I would this is sort of like, I wonder if this is a helpful tip, but I wanted a vinaigrette, and there was balsamic and wine vinegar, whatever, balsamic vinegar at the lake house, but they had olive oil, but I didn't want any of their olive oil because I knew that it was crap. So this is what I did. We brought along a jar of bacon grease, and I just liquefied as much of that bacon grease I needed, and then once it was nice and liquefied, I put in my acid, the balsamic vinegar, seasoned it, salt, pepper, mixed it up, and there you go. It's a bacon grease vinaigrette. It's perfect. And we had boiled some eggs, so I threw some eggs in there. Had some salami, threw some salami in there, and yeah, so it was pretty much. When I did have a meal, it was basically a big old salad with some nice fatty meats in it. And that was Monday through Thursday. Then on the way back Thursday, I forgot what I had, but then it was sort of like I shifted gears away from the salads. Yeah, but it was a nice few days of just eating greens and some fatty cuts of meat and staying clean that way, and not even having a drop of alcohol. So it felt good. It felt good to be able to do that. And it was easy to, because we were so isolated in a way. All right. All right, guys, that's all I got. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. And stay safe and don't get hungry. Remember to, in your mind, hug your friends, hug your family. You could do that physically. Eat something delicious, and be better than me. Go run something. Bye. Yeah, jetzt mal another road. Go run something. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Ruel's Running Podcast with Ruel. If you like what you just heard, share it with your friends and your enemies. Also, be sure to check out the site over at ruelsrunning.com. Join us next time for another silly show of Ruel's Running Podcast.